do it. And then I just reorder,
Yeah.
And when I'm very busy,
Is that Maria?
I think so.
I don't think so. Oh, not that hair.
Oh,
No, that's not your hair.
All right.
I know she works here.
Oh, she was already here? No.
No, but I know she's a realtor here.
Maybe she forgot.
All right. Well, let's get started. Are you guys familiar with the MOXI?
I am.
You are.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But
Took
I'm
a
not good at
class
it.
yesterday.
Or you did?
Yeah,
Oh.
over at Pearl Gables, but I thought there was like preparing the MOXI and then presenting the MOXI, that there were two different classes. That's what my understanding was. So yesterday it was entitled Preparing the MOXI, so I thought today would be presenting. But you always learn something new from another person.
Right. Well, no. This will be just preparing.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, putting
I
it
can use
together.
it. Okay.
Exactly. So once you onto your Entity Gateway, you have the square here with it would be the MOXI. But if you've already changed to the new look, the desk look, then it will be
That looks even more confusing.
yeah, create a presentation. All right, just click on that. And so from here, the first time you're on, you want to make sure you update your profile. So click on your photo, click on my account. I'm just going to go down my outline here. And on the contact, sorry, the web info, make sure you write a little paragraph for yourself, a little bio, and write it in third person. Maybe have someone else write it for you. And then any other information, you want to make sure that you set up your use your email that you use for Zillow, so that way your Zillow reviews will pop up.
I'm not on Zillow.
All right. And that would be, that's the web info. You want to make sure that your Zillow, use your see this is my email address that I use for Zillow down here. So you just click on the pencil and then edit these things here. All right. Actually, if you go over to the agent tools if you look over here, what I've written down as Zillow integrated tools. So this is where you edit the email address. Make sure you have the email address that you use to set up your Zillow account. Right? So that's your premier agent, and that way when you have your reviews, it'll pop over here and it'll be part of your presentation. You guys, have you asked people to write reviews for you on Zillow? Yeah?
I'm not on Zillow yet.
You are.
I am?
You are.
Really?
Yeah, everyone has a Zillow account because of Cold Banker. So you just need to make sure you set it up with your email address. Then you start asking clients to do your review.
I didn't know
And you
that.
can make that part of your presentation.
But you make the presentation. You make the Zillow part of your presentation. Got
Zillow
it.
reviews.
The Zillow reviews.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right. So let's go back to the click on MOXI. So when I put on, so these are the ones that I've created in the past, right? But we're going to start from scratch. We're going to click on Create New, and then we're going to do Seller today. Seller, Continue. And have you guys gone through the large presentation, the Cole Banker one, the one that's 57 pages and kind of pared it down?
Yeah, I think I've used that.
I pared it down yesterday.
It's too
Didn't want to
long.
put everybody through 57.
Yeah, 57 is too much, but it gives you a variety. So you might like some slides that I don't like, or you might relate to some slides that Amelia doesn't. So just you need to go through it and just look at each one and say, I identify with this, or this is something I could really use and I could talk about. Otherwise, you just go ahead and delete them, right? So if we look here, so it's divided into, you want to hit the Florida one. So Florida, either the CBGL is the global, or global luxury,
Oh, right.
Then you have also a pre-listing presentation that they put together for us. And then the seller presentation, the Florida one. Then once you set this up with the way you like it to look, under my templates, and so will be the ones that you have sort of customized and pared down. All right? But what we'll do is do the one that's 57 pages. Go to continue. And here you want to, this is prepared for you, just give the name of the client. Or you immediate. What's your last name?
Martinez, but it's with an E, not with an A.
P.A.?
No, Emilia. E-M-I-L-I-A. Whatever it is.
I.A.?
Yeah, Martinez.
Sorry.
That's me.
And just go to create. And then just wait a second, it's going to pop up on the screen. All right, so the first section was this copy in-laws number. That's only if the property that we're going to present had been listed before.
So it's for a seller or...
Right, this is the seller presentation. Right. So if it had been listed before, like it expired or it canceled, then we could use the MLS number and it would bring up all the data.
Auto-populate sort of.
Right,
Okay.
exactly, yeah.
So this presentation is in the case for an expired or a canceled or...
Only that first little box. Right, so it says enter MLS number. Again, it's something that had been in MLS before.
Before.
Like it was an expired, or maybe they bought it 3 years ago and it's still up in
there.
MLS. You can use that number, it'll auto-populate all the information. So but otherwise, we'll write do it from scratch. We'll do this building 90 Alton Road. City. This other information you don't really need to put in there. Building names, schools. We want to put a photo. So what I did is I uploaded that a few minutes ago. Let me download that. And then also something else I'm going to add later. So I'm going to download the photo to my desktop. Alright, so I download the photo that I've taken. So try to, if you can, beforehand, go and take a picture of the building yourself or the house, go and take the drive-by road, at least from the front, so you can have that for the front of your presentation. If I go back to my MOXI, and here's the photo. This is the default one, but we want to change it, of course. And I look for the photo that I downloaded in my desktop. Should be under desktop.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. All right, so there's a picture of our subject property. And then we can add a little bit of information under subject property information. This is a condo, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. 150 square feet. Built in 1998.
Did you ever put an MLS? I guess not, right? An MLS number up at the top?
No, because it's never been
It never,
MLS
okay.
before.
Okay.
Remember, this is what's it's for a prospective seller. I mean, you can put in information here, and this is kind of shows up in the, sort of like the flyer for the subject property. We can write little remarks, dated,
I thought the front was broken, but it's not.
condo with marble floors, with constructed views. South Beach. Sounds promising, right?
Yep.
Yeah, do you have the key or not?
What is the new?
And
There's a new key and now there's another new.
we haven't established the price yet, so we'll leave that blank. All right, so now is the section for creating the seed menu, right?
They're right
And
on
some,
triple, so.
what's available for sale, for comps, what's sold,
comps.
pending. So this has its own, it's connected with MLS. So you can use this system to search, it's kind of like going to realtor.com, right? Or what you also can do is add MLS numbers, which means you can go to Matrix, because you know it is hopefully we're going to get this listing, right? So when we do that, we want to have a search saved in Matrix, and we want to track it after we get the listing, et cetera, right? So might as well do that search, create that search in Matrix, and have it saved, and then just copy
It's a reaction.
the MLS numbers from there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to put a 10 for our Matrix. Let's log in.
I think your first few numbers
Oh,
flew off the screen.
flew off the screen. I hate when that happens.
666 and there's some. Oh, there's.
I made too many mistakes.
There's this system.
Oh, did let me in. All right, so we're logged in. So let's do a search. All right, so I mean today's class I'm not really focusing on, finding the right comps and everything, right? So I'm just going to do this quickly so we can get back to our MOXI.
So the asterisk means that's just anything with Alton.
Okay, well.
Right. So that means that
Here's the
if you
thing.
put the asterisk, it's a
When we back-
like a joker's card, meaning, so if the listing you put alternate RD,
Right.
catch it. If they're all listings, you put alternate ROD.
I gotta start using that because,
Yeah.
you know, like there's North Bay Road or North Bay Shore, and it's like, did they put the N? Did they not? Did they write out
Did
the
they
word?
abbreviate?
Did it, it's like,
Yeah.
and you know the listing's there, and you can try multiple way, and it won't come up. It's
It's
really annoying.
Yeah,
It's very-
for me, it's just easier to just put the name of the street.
Yeah, it's
asterisk.
super clever.
I mean, you're supposed to put, there's a list of the road directions
Rick's,
that, from MLS you're supposed to use, like, you're supposed to put RD for road,
oh, right,
you're
right.
not supposed to write it out, but people do that, so
I don't remember.
this way you catch everything.
Explain to her
I
that's
keep
what
forgetting
all
about
property-
that little
you can
thing.
forward the
Yeah, the
email
little asterisk.
with the property address, and I'll go ahead and make.
So just for argument's sake, I'm just gonna pick two actives
Lydia Duff,
that are similar.
no one,
Just so we can get this started, and didn't have any active, with contract, let me see if there's any pending. Oh yeah, there's one pending, so we'll add that.
I know. I'll forget, we gotta go through the server and everything. Oh, wait, it just came in. Okay, I'll fix it right now, don't worry about it, okay? You're welcome.
Alright, so I picked two actives, only one pending,
How are you?
and there's 2 closed sales in the last 6 months. Not a busy building, but nevertheless, we're gonna take
I
it.
think it falls under.
So here are MLS numbers, right? So I'm gonna copy those into our MOXI.
It would be nice to have on there.
So you would use the 1 and 2 bedroom with the different square footages to what, get like an average or something? Or-
Well, no. I mean, you want to keep it similar.
Are you asking
So
for
that's,
what we have to say?
Yeah.
oh yeah, that wouldn't do.
So then to add.
Well, there's only one bedroom.
There's 3 1 bedrooms and 2 2 bedrooms. Wait, 4 minutes.
Yeah, let's try, oh, there's only one. I mean, 2 bed sold these in the last 6 months. Let's go back and make that a little farther. And what we do is just do 2 bedrooms. Alright, so our pending. Our 2 closed sales. And then 2 actives.
You're right.
Yes, and it's under additional rooms. Yeah, it's in there.
Thanks for pointing that out.
You do, it's there.
So I'm going to copy and paste these MLS numbers into the MLS number. I click there, right? So I'm going to add it here to the line.
Listing, and I'm not very familiar with that, sorry, okay.
And I go back to Matrix and go to the next one. And it's active. Copy that.
Yesterday,
And you go back to the next one, which is a pending. Sorry, what did you say?
yesterday, you know, like when you, she did a shortcut with what you're doing, like, if you go back to Matrix, like if you go to the line, like if you get line display back again, wait till you're done.
If you go back to the website.
Once you're done, I'll tell you, so you don't lose track. But there was she just did a copy and paste of all of those numbers instead of doing them one by one. And she said normally, you know, you have to put like the semicolon, but she said it'll do it for you.
Oh, how did she do that?
So like right there, she somehow copied that whole column of MLS.
Uh-huh.
Like she just somehow copied, oh, I guess you double click at the top, maybe the top of the column, of the MLS column, maybe, in the blank space. Maybe,
No.
because there was a way she copied that column. Oh, does it say copy when you did that?
No.
Maybe she left, clicked and dragged down, or she did something to copy that whole column. And, but it was only the column.
When you go to copy, it copies it line, the whole line by line.
Yeah, she somehow copied just that column and then pasted it, and then the system inserted automatically all the colons, semicolon. And instead of having to go one by one, it was just copy paste and it was done.
Well, that would be interesting to find out. I'd like to know that.
That's Cassandra, who's gone now. Yesterday was her last day. She's
Yeah,
gone.
because when you start to copy, you see it starts, copies the whole line by line.
Yeah, I didn't
Not
watch
just a
what
column.
she did.
I'll have to find that out. All right, so if we go back to, so we've got all those inserted into our MOXI, right? Because we clicked on MLS number, click on search. And just to confirm, we have
I use this.
4. So maybe I.
Oh, hello. Good, how are you?
5, it should be 5 here.
What's up?
This is active. Active, so we're missing the pending.
Who? Oh. I don't know. Yeah, she is, but she's on a phone call right now. Do you need her urgently or? You know what? I heard something.
Is it 10:48?
About something like that. I don't know what it's called. You
Yeah,
can-
that one's there.
No, you know what, the best thing is text her. That way she has in our, no, somebody did it, text her. Because text her, she'll.
Oh, there we go. All right, so now it's picked up the 5 listings that I put in there, right?
It's, 3.
So one thing you have to make sure you do is click on select all. Otherwise, when you go to the next screen, it won't pick them up.
8981.
So so we select all of those. Then we go down here to the bottom, we'll click on continue.
Okay, all right. You're welcome, all right.
And so from here, you can put them in order, any which order you want, actually. You can put it here where it says order by. We can put it according to by price or by status, meaning actives or the closed sales. Or we can do a custom sort order, which I kind of like to do. Because that way I can put in, if you want to have like one of the actives, say there's 2 actives, you want the one active to be the top versus the second, change the placement. So the custom order allows you to do that. And so you just use the little arrow here and you can move them around.
And you can have two or maybe even more ways to sort. After you sort at the top, that like cut, and then if you hit that little plus sign, right, you can add another one. So like the example yesterday, I think she sorted by highest to lowest price, and then the next one, what was the closest distance to the subject property.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
There they are.
Or you can do the custom and just move it around the way you want to. Right? So if we did it by, well, we didn't, but if you had done by status, then well, let's do it by status again. So from active to solds, and then it doesn't allow us to do the secondary as
Custom.
So
custom.
it'll be low, and that's last thing.
So we'll just do the custom. So we have then, it has put the 2 actives here together, pending and sold. So if we wanted to, we could, because it's custom, we could change this to be the first one in the list.
What is it over there?
You see that?
What is over there? No,
And then you can add custom listing, meaning, like, for example,
Off-market.
something sold without a realtor, right, for sale by owner. So you can type it in there from scratch,
That's so good.
right?
Wow,
So
how
that's
do you do
good.
that?
Or you can add an adjustment here. Like say for example,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
like the pending. Maybe you know this unit 2001 and it closed yesterday, but it hasn't been reflected in the MLS. So you can manually change it, and then you just tell your client or your future client that this is still pending, but I know because it was my listing, or I spoke to the listing agent today and she said it closed yesterday, and this is the amount.
One good one she used was like a foreclosure, because they say, oh, well, why did that one, sell so low, let's say?
Uh-huh.
And, these others are so high. It's, oh, because I know for a fact that was a foreclosure, and that was like a good note to, I
That's
thought.
better to add.
Yeah, so that note thing is excellent also.
And where does it appear, the adjustment?
So
Oh, like
yeah, I
where
guess
will
you
they
could
see
write
it?
that here. So that was, let's see, that was for So we could write here for sure, and then write, say this one closed yesterday and it closed for 6:25. And
Ah, it appeared right there.
oh, no,
That's a good deal.
no wait, oops, no wait, that's that. No, it's actually that you're adjusting the price, not the new price. So we did 25, 1, 2, 3 minus. It didn't do it for us.
Are you trying to? You adjusting 250,000 or 20?
Why don't we 25,000 less? Oh, okay, there. I have to put the minus in the front. So this was pending, right? Say, for example, we know that it closed yesterday and it hasn't been reflected in the less. So I can say just the price is 625. And then you have to explain to them why. And so once, and then you could delete it if you want to. And also at the same time, if you're going through this list and realize, okay, 1211 is not a good match, then you click the X here and you can delete it from the list. So, all right, so we're finished with that. I'm going to go to the next screen. So here's the fun part. I mean, it gives you an estimated market value. What I like to do is normally give it a greater range, right? So this is that looks at all, your comps, your what's for sale, what has closed, what's pending, and based on the condition, you want to compare apples to apples as much as possible. But then at the end, sometimes you have to create a range and tell it's just a seller. It should sell between 800 and 850. Or you could say, it probably should sell for 800, or we'll list it at 850. Right, so you write that in here. Right? And then this allows you to get area for remarks. So if you're going to be emailing this to an out-of-town seller, you might want to write a little description of why you've come up with these numbers, right? Based on, I'm estimating it should sell for 800 or list for 850, or based on unit number 1211 because it had similar flooring or similar upgrades, then you can write that in here. Otherwise, if you're meeting them in person, then you have to write that in, just to remember it. Or maybe you want to write that so you don't forget it.
Yeah.
Especially if
Or
you're
they
doing,
don't
like,
forget.
You're doing like maybe 2 or 3 presentations in one day, you're not going to remember. It does have a tab for net proceeds, but the best is to use if you're gonna do that. Either the title or use the app that they have,
Oh, right.
or go to use it in document. And we're finished.
Really?
Yeah. But we could customize it. So, but this is we
Oh, right.
we have to go through all these because remember there's 50 something, 57,
So you
right?
start by elimination.
Right,
Orlando, Tampa,
right. So
nationwide.
obviously we're gonna get rid of these. So to delete them, you just click on the 3 dots and remove.
Seems like there should be an easier way to delete. You know how like on MLS or Matrix, you can just,
Unselect.
yeah, you just select them really quickly on the outside and then delete. Here you have to go in, open the thing. You know what I mean? It's like 3 steps.
But you're only gonna do this once or twice.
Oh, right, because you're custom then.
Because we're gonna save this,
Template,
we're
okay.
gonna save it after we're finished.
And then we can copy off that, right?
Yep.
And then from there on, we just shoot, okay.
Right, because we're creating this as my
Oh,
template.
template, okay.
And so from then on, we just open it up, and the only thing you want to do in the future then is put in the information about the subject property and the person's name. All the slides that we've spent an hour today, or whatever, 2 hours going through, are gonna be saved, and we want to like really think about it again. Unless we want to add something different, right? So, yeah, it's gonna take you probably an hour or so, just going through all these, and 'cause some of them are very, very similar. So you don't have like 3 slides that are saying the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you want to have a nice mix of slides about Coldwell Banker and slides about you, and then slides about the property, right?
In your experience, are like clients or potential clients very interested on Coldwell Banker information, or most about their property and comps and stuff?
A little bit. It's a combination of they're a little bit interested, but also you want to let them know so that you're not just the ABC Realty down the street, but a large company. And what does this large company do? What's the advantage for them to list with us versus ABC Realty down the street?
Got it.
Right? All about exposure. And so these slides, one thing I like about this is that it gives you sort of a roadmap. So as you're going through the presentation, instead of memorizing everything to say, just go through each slide, go to the next one. Oh yeah, this is Coldwell Banker's been in existence for 100 years. Go to the next slide. Oh yeah, we have 80 offices in Florida. Oh no, that's the world rather. 80 offices in the world. And then go to the next slide, and then you look at the slide, and then you talk about it. And it guides you to the end, which is about the property, and to the end, which is about getting the listing signed, right? And then again, it sort of helps you keep going through the process instead of letting them guide you through the listing presentation. So many times we're like, what about this? You're like, well, yeah, I'm going to get to that. And just a second, I got a great slide that will cover that. Right?
Just bear with me.
Yeah. They get excited, so you have to get excited too. So,
I think it is 85 in Florida.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
oh, it is.
In Florida.
Because if you look just eyeballing the little markers, but the 5,200 agents, that can't be worldwide or even nationwide, right?
Well, fine.
It's in Florida.
Yeah. Exactly. And so some of these are really nice because they're moving slides. Or, some of the graphics are moving. Let me see.
Where are the bottom?
Yeah. Here, this one. So the graphics are moving, which is nice and
Oh, yeah,
eye-catching.
catchy.
Right.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
so if
one.
you print this, obviously, it's not going to be.
Oh,
it's
no?
gonna be moving. But you can do that. So that's the advantage that I like of having showing it live. Because these things move. And then also once we get to, let's see. Well, let's get to our the pricing and the comparables for our subject property. Let's jump to that so we can take a look at it. I think it's property. Well, property summary is so here's our subject property and a little bit of the little sentence I wrote about it. Listing location map.
Yeah, it's cool.
So this is ranks of how many homes, because it pins all the properties. But since this is in the same building, it's not so important. All right, so here's our listing. This slide is called listing overview. And so from here, then let's go to the one that we edited. All right, so remember that's the pending, and we edited to 625. So here we go. Here's the adjusted price. Here is the list price, which is the pending price. Right? So you can tell them, oh, this is the list price, and this is the price it actually sold at. It closed at, right? And if we go back there, it has it has just about everything you have in MLS, right? The description, the comments, the basics. And then if we click on the photo, and if we click on the photo, then it enlarges it.
You should have. Okay.
And it should pop up.
What I need to do is get an email from the manager.
Oh, here we go.
The manager.
And then here we can look at
You guys are-
each slide.
You guys are not.
Right. Because if they're going to ask you, well, how is this like mine? And you say, well, this, look at the flooring, look at the kitchen, the view, or maybe it's not like theirs and it's better than theirs,
So
and
you
it's a
have
lower
to
price. So you want to show that to them also. To the shooter. And then we can go to the next comparable, so on and so on, right? Or we can click a little X here, and then open up all of them on the same screen. There's another slide. It's called side-by-side comparisons. And it's like what you see from an appraiser, right? The only thing I don't like about this is you don't have the remarks or the description, right? So that's why I like a listing overview. Because then it has all your has the domain photo of each property, with all your comps on the screen, with the better balance and the price. Then you just click on each one, and then you look at the photos and description. I mean, some people like this, but again, it doesn't give you the remarks. I mean, unless you know these properties like really well, then you can talk about them. Otherwise, you want to have those remarks near, very close, in case they ask you about it. So again, this is kind of similar to the other slide. So you don't really need both. So you want to delete that one. And then the one that I really like our there's one, here's your listing averages, high, low, price stays on market. Price and size. I'm not sure about this slide. I mean, it's kind of difficult to read.
Yeah, like we are familiar with it, but I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if average seller would get it.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Price and analysis. So once we've gone through this, we're going to click on Save as Template. We're going to save it as seller. We're going to write my seller presentation, and then it'll be saved. All right, am I going to do that because I already done it? But something that we forgot to do is go to add our Zillow reviews, right? Because we want that. So we click on Agent Profile. Then if you click on the little wheel, then you tell it, I want that Zillow reviews. And then in a couple seconds it will appear, and here they are here.
Whoa, 5 stars or this one. So is it true that, like, you can't really pick and choose what reviews, right? I mean, like,
It
if
shows
someone,
you most recent.
so let's just say
So
someone,
this one's from December 2nd.
so if someone had put in unfavorable
You
review,
want to make sure get someone to write another review after that.
but you can't, because I think someone
Because it goes in order.
was saying that they didn't like to include that because if they did get a bad one, there's no way to delete it. Like, you can't pick and choose what shows, right? Or can you?
All right, so my first review was not so good. So, but if you notice, it only shows you like one at a time. So you click on more reviews,
Look at you.
a couple more,
Stars.
and then a couple more. Well, they're not going to go to the last one. So if you get an not so nice review, maybe you get some more people to review after it, because
So there's
then
no
it
way
gets
that-
pushed to the bottom. Right? So I mean, at least with MOXI, it shows you the most recent, and then you have, if the prospect is really interested, they'll click on, more reviews to see, to read all of them. But I also read that if you do have all 5-star reviews, it looks fake. Suspicious,
Yeah.
right? So if that's a problem, then the next person you ask them, well, can you give me only 4? Because then it looks, realistic and like you're like paying somebody for reviews.
Oh,
Or it could
please.
just be 5-star all the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then
it could
it's
just
people
be a
start
really
to
good
question
agent.
it. Just like when you look somebody online, look at the reviews, and they're like, oh, perfect. Like, it's always, not everyone's perfect.
Like on Yelp, I always
But
go
these
to
are your
perfect
real
restaurants.
ones.
Yeah, this comes right from.
But these are your real reviews for you, right? These are your real reviews.
Yeah, so I have an average of 4.5.
But, like, looking here, you're 5-star all the way.
Right, but if you
So-
look to the left,
yeah,
yeah.
my total is. So
Ah,
I'm normal.
You're not perfect.
Thank God.
very close to perfect.
So,
You're perfect. You just don't let people
right.
judge you accordingly.
Let's see here. All right. So also, if you want to move these, slide up or down, just hold left click and hold, and then you can move it. Place it in a different order, higher, lower.
Yeah, like like kinds.
Like what?
Like like kinds, similar categories. Are they already like that to begin with, or no?
Yeah, it comes like this.
Like similar subject, right? It would be together.
Right. So if I wanted giving back to be more towards the beginning, then I could change it. So, but once you do that, and you want this to be your template, remember you have to go to the bottom and change and save it.
Right.
Right.
So you can update your custom template again.
Yeah. So if we want to add a page, so we can add a page, so create something from new. So you can, if you've done a video,
Right.
if you've done a video by yourself, or maybe you've done a video of the area, the neighborhood, the subdivision where the property is, you can upload that and make a slide of it. Right? So, or you can, maybe it's a flyer that you've done. It doesn't have to be about this property, but a flyer, you say, because that's part of your presentation, you say, well, this is the flyers that I create for all my listings. Here's an example.
Of what you would do.
Sorry?
Yeah. An example of what you would create for him to market the property.
Exactly. So I saved one,
Is it that red?
so I'm gonna upload that.
Can you put,
Yes, that's it.
like a YouTube link also, can you do stuff like that? Like
YouTube what?
Like a link, YouTube and all that?
It has to be actually YouTube, it has to be saved in either YouTube or Vimeo, which is like YouTube. And so the good thing is that, let me just say this real quick, so I can show you how that works.
You're saying, yeah, the
She's
numbers.
saying that it's better if there's just one team lead and let everything fall on that person. She wants to, right?
All right, so I'm gonna upload a PDF first.
And let me, on this section. I didn't know she had written to you. Really just covered.
So this is gonna save in my slides. So again, this is a flyer for Burger's Open House, so they did one of my listings. So again, this makes it more personal. It's not just like, standard slides, right? This is something that I've created. And so if I so I go to add from library, this should be in my library. And I'll show you how to upload the video in a second.
I was gonna say, I think we can unlock now.
Yeah, how do you do that?
So my pages,
Oh, thanks. So, no.
so here's the candle flyer that I upload, right? So I can pick it up in the future for other flyers, other presentations. Go on in. Or broker pages. These are looks like it's from NRT, from Florida. It's the whole folder of Florida. Report pages. So these are some of the ones that we may have deleted. So we go back to our pages. This is to our presentation. Add a page. We're going to build a page.
Oh, that's what.
So this is where you can build a page. Maybe some photos of maybe the subject property you took, right? Or it's pictures of the building, the pool, the gym. Those are the ones that you have. Obviously, I don't have the ones inside. Most likely, you're going to get inside. Or it's a picture of the community, picture of the signage as you enter. So you can do it here, or you can do this. Create, and here you can either add text or add the video. One hand it says here, you're gonna make sure it's your video, not someone else's video. Probably a good idea, right? So here, yeah, so from YouTube, Vimeo, or Dailymotion. Not quite sure what Dailymotion is.
Never heard of it.
So, and so you would go make sure the video that you've done on yourself, or it doesn't have to be necessarily yourself, but you're filming something, either could be even just Lincoln Road, or the building itself, or the Ocean Drive, right? And you could be talking as you're filming, right? It only has to be like 30 seconds, nothing
Right, to lose
huge.
your attention.
I did it at a listing that I went on the day before. I was able. It's not gated. The building's not gated. So I walked to the pool area and videotaped. I don't think I was on the camera. Oh, I was on the camera. And I was like, hey, Lee, this is Larry Hughes. I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. That was it.
Oh, so you were basically inviting the
It was a,
potential seller to
this
list
was a confirmation.
Just, yeah, the meeting for the next day. That's a good idea.
on a video. That's
Yeah.
great.
That's a nice idea.
So you just save it to your YouTube channel or account, and then you get a, every YouTube video has a lyric.
So would you just text him that or something? You just text only that little video or emailed it? Or
Yeah.
something, I mean, just by itself, right, without the,
Right, I think it was.
so that's a good idea.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's personal.
Yeah, but
Instead
plus a
of-
lot of people are flying in from out of town, they're cold, snowy weather, and you're out this sunny beach, and it's like looking forward, and he's like, I'm looking forward to seeing you too.
Right. Yeah, so video doesn't have to
Get them
necessarily.
psyched up to buy your property.
Right, it doesn't necessarily have to be complicated or.
Right.
That's
That's a good idea, I never heard that one before. It's a new one, I'm writing that down.
What's that?
It's a new one, I'm writing it down, that's a good one.
Right. So let's go back to
I like that idea.
cancel that.
There was a little blue more. Oh, here, right here.
All right, any other questions?
I think so. Let me see if I have anything from yesterday.
So other, I put it at the bottom, so other uses are, for MOXI is buyer presentation. And let me show you one, because I did one earlier.
You cat food? Love cat food. They love cat food. So fatty. Yeah.
So this would be I created a quick buyer presentation. And it's to new buyer, prospective buyer, right? Full paper, home buyer guide. Research begins for the purchase process.
Can those pictures be changed?
No,
No.
we change the slides. I mean, delete the slides. Do something else.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Purchase
No, it's just that
process.
fireplaces in Miami don't.
Right, yeah, I mean.
That's why I don't like those.
Right, exactly. So actually, this is my first slide, sorry, I jumped ahead. And so on and so on, but I have really good ones. This is the step-by-step process, what happens,
Yeah, that's a great one.
and power of approval, why they need that, but why it's important, the process, what's necessary. And maybe this is also good for a buyer who's coming from outside the country, who doesn't know, what the steps or what's necessary to get a loan. Then your website that's on whole loans.
And they can relax. They can relax.
So just a little bit of information about, the buying process. Because many people just think, oh, Lena's my realtor, she's gonna go on the MLS of her properties and that's all she does, right? But there's no process to it, they don't realize, all the steps it takes. It's not just like you find a home, made an offer and boom, it's yours. But this shows it out, step by step. And what you can do I just thought of this, is that, so this is the one for the buyer, right? So you could take this URL, so I open up on my phone, on my email, right? I copy this URL, and you can text it to somebody. Because it's not personalized, right? I mean, you can't personalize it if you want to, but this one is it's not. So you meet somebody at a holiday party, and we're looking to buy. Oh, great. Well, let me send you information on the step-by-step process of what I do to help you find a home. Let me text it to you.
Like you
And
say,
open up my
especially if
phone,
they're
like,
foreigners.
wow, this guy is professional. Or,
Yeah.
just save it in you text it to yourself,
And
and then when
keep
it
it.
comes the time to, then you just forward the text to, that person, that prospective buyer. Good idea, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
You could also, remember, think about this as a tool or method of communicating with someone. In other words, it doesn't have to be necessarily a listing presentation, but it's an online presentation. So in other words, maybe you create something that is about the farm area that you're going to start working in. You could enter. I think it was Cassie was telling me that an agent took it as a in the MLS number area, he wrote in, typed all the MLS numbers of all the properties he has sold. You could do that maybe for that subdivision, or maybe
That he just sold.
yeah. So you're creating sort of like a little advertisement for yourself, right?
Because how else do you do that? Like,
Sorry?
how else would you do that? If let's say you go to a listing presentation, and with this aside, without using this MOXI, how do you normally show your prospective seller, your sales? Because they usually say, what have you sold in my neighborhood, or what kind of homes have you sold like mine in the, $1 million range? Do you just print out your ML matrix? Is that how you would normally do it? Like matrix, almost like a line item with a picture?
Yeah,
Like how do you
you could do that.
personally?
Yeah, but I've noticed with this, people are overwhelmed. They forget those questions that they were thinking about and asking you. It just seems like, wow, it seems like when they see that it looks like you paid a producer to produce this presentation for them, right? They're just, when you get to the end, they're like, okay. But I know those questions. It's like, well, what have you sold in my area? No, hopefully you've asked some questions before you got in there, so you know to have those ready ahead of time. But before this, then you have to print on a piece of paper.
Just the
one line.
matrix, yeah.
Yeah.
If they have them, or whatever.
But you could create something that wasn't necessarily a listing presentation, but a presentation of what you've done for that maybe that area you're farming, or that building you're farming.
So let's say somebody is not too techy, they don't want this sent on their email, right?
Right.
A live one, which is better because, like you showed, the things that move, it's better. So let's say I'm going to be in person with somebody, and I'm going to print out the presentation, right? The bound presentation. It's pretty much the same as here, except for I think Cassandra had mentioned, well, don't include the comps, and why give the next agent your work in case they don't use you? Why leave them with that work of yours to go to the next agent, take out the comps, etc. But anyway, but this we can do on our laptop presentation also. It's like if I use this as a presentation on my laptop,
Yeah.
do I just go through it like you were, like let's say we're left with 27 pages, I would just scroll through that, right? Like at the,
Yeah, so
like
this
page
is,
one was your,
right. So if we print one, if you have a touch screen, you would swipe it. Otherwise, you would use the page down.
yeah.
Goes to the next screen.
And so then if they wanted, they
Next
could
screen.
almost go along with me in their book if they wanted, right? Pretty much be the same thing.
Oh, if you print them a book.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't give them a book. If you're going to do this, I would.
Sometimes they like to be left, like, if they don't absorb it all, it's a lot, and they want to be left with some of the information on the company or.
Right, so I wouldn't give them the book until after the presentation. Because otherwise they'll be like,
Yeah.
you're talking, they're like, oh, right, and they're not looking at it.
That's true.
So you give them the book then after you finish the presentation.
Okay. And so this is the presentation. It's a
And so this would
swipe up.
have the same printed one that you give them later, but with the comps. Because like you said, what you give them doesn't have the comparable sales.
Right. Yeah, they won't catch it till after you're gone.
Or what about you give them the booklet after they sign the listing agreement?
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
If you what?
You don't give them the booklet until they sign the listing agreement. Otherwise,
No,
they
I
go
mean,
to
you do the
another realtor.
presentation on your laptop
Yeah,
or your
she's just being
iPad.
funny. Oh, look it.
Then you,
Who says that?
Sorry.
then after,
She matches your outfit today, that's so
so
funny.
then after the presentation is done, hopefully the idea is to, like what I have to say, we agree on price. If you feel like that's their own great, let's sign here. If they, say something else, then you could give them the booklets and have them keep it. And then, but again, they don't have the comps. You can also make, if for some reason they don't have Wi-Fi, and maybe it's in a building or somewhere you can't get a connection, you can save it as a PDF to your computer, to your desktop. You won't have moving graphics or the video, but then you have the slides. But then if that's the case, then you want to make sure you print the comps, like at least like the 8-photo view
Oh, right.
for each
They won't
one.
update.
So you have more than just
She started crying
main
over
photo.
there when somebody came in.
Right.
And Nubila was replying from her regular.
Yeah, that was something they brought up about sending the link as opposed to a PDF. I'm gonna get that thing because to your client, let's say they're out of town and you're not meeting with them in person,
Uh-huh.
because the link will always update those listings.
Right, so it's
Whereas the
live,
PDF, yeah,
where it's live, so yeah, that's a good idea.
live.
But also keep in mind, I think I wrote in here, the last one, if you're doing a listening presentation like over the phone or something like that, try not to do it over the phone, but use something like Zoom meeting or Meet. There's different companies out there where you can host the online meeting yourself online.
But you see each other like a FaceTime?
Yep.
Or, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you showed us one like that, Zoom or something.
yeah,
right?
Zoom. Yeah, I did a class on that.
Oh.
So that way because otherwise, if you email them the presentation and you call them, like, oh, let's get started with a link, and you start talking about the slides, they're not waiting for you to. They're going to be like, oh, okay, oh, right, okay, okay, and they're going to the next slide, right? And they're not really listening to everything you're saying. But if you do a Zoom meeting, then what you do is you send them a link to a Zoom meeting, you open it up, and then you share. Allows you to share what's on your desktop. And then in the small corner, you can see a picture of them.
Right,
And they see it.
okay,
And so you control each slide.
right.
Go to the next one.
They
You
just
speak.
watch.
They can't click on anything.
It's kind of like the webinars, when they take webinars
Exactly.
online.
Uh-huh.
Right, it's like a webinar, except there's only one person attending.
So, okay, that's good.
Right?
Boy.
So, so it is to kind of think outside the box sometimes with these, because it's a great tool for not just listen presentation, wire presentation, but other ways to market yourself. Like I said, either it could be like just a, maybe you don't have to use these slides at all. You can use a few of them and just create your own, create another one, and to create like a video about the farm area you're going after. Good idea, right?
Yeah, but it helps you through, it's better to have something than you just sit there and talk, it like helps you get through a presentation. It guides us.
So, and yeah, like I said, you can use the buyer presentation, text it yourself, have it saved in your text message. And then when it comes time to meeting somebody, you could say, oh, well, I got this information on the whole buying process. When you text it to you, click on it, it goes to the whole presentation. Looks super professional,
I
right?
want to show you something.
But it's generic, it's not about the property, right? It's like just
Those are
explaining.
buyers.
Sorry?
Buyers.
For buyers, uh-huh.
Right.
So we can go in there and take that one form, like, you know, out of those 57, or I guess for the buyers it's less, but we can just download that one thing. So we can use the stuff in here.
Yeah, so once you,
Then within 6 months, we sold it.
yeah, once you get to the end, you click on Save Template,
635.
and so seller, and you put in my seller listing presentation. So when you start at the beginning, we click on Create New, right? It's a seller.
These are amazing.
So these are the brokerage templates, the one that comes from Coldwell Banker. And then here, under my templates, these would be the ones that you save,
Yeah, I know where it's at.
21st Street.
right?
21st. Oh.
So my listing presentation for sellers, that's the one that I created. So it only has 32 pages instead of 57, right?
Great.
And marketing is something that you can, it's like a, well actually, now,
$2 million.
Coldwell Banker has a free listing presentation, but that's only recent. But before, I created my own. And so, for example, if so you send this out to a client before you arrive at the
They
listing.
grant you.
So it's everything about you, Coldwell Banker, right? The marketing part. So they have time to review it, and hopefully it'll save you a little bit of time once you
That's where
get
they're
there.
at now?
Right, so once you get there, you say, well, did you open up that marketing presentation that I sent you? Yes. So did you go through it all? Yes. Did you have any questions on it? And then if they did, then you go through it. If not, or maybe they know you really well. You know, if they know you really well, you don't have to really go through the presentation because they know you. But you still want to have it, give it to them so they don't forget how great you are.
Of course.
Right? Because people forget that, especially if they've known you for a long time.
Ah! Take it for granted.
They do. So,
This is leftover.
right, so these, and then the one for global luxury marketing. So these three I created, right?
Zero cash down.
So above here, where it says brokerage templates, these are the one that you'll have, that everybody has. All right?
But again, I was just trying to show that there was.
And so, all right, so once you have this, you can come back here.
Leave it alone, just
So if you click in the middle of the presentation, it'll open up the finished product, right? But if you click on the pencil, then it allows you to start editing it and changing it.
That's fine.
I don't know, you probably know better than I do.
And then from here, you can go and email it to someone, or you can make a duplicate, and you also can assign, or I'm sorry, add a co-presenter.
Oh, right.
So like if the two of you are going on this presentation, you can add her, so that way you both can,
2,000 feet.
you can put both of your information on there.
Pictures.
All right?
All right. Thank you so much.
I just gotta get started.
Yes. Have to keep playing with it.
Whatever, or.
So your Zoom class, how do you do that regularly?